Okay, Sound Discovery team, welcome to another episode of the Sound Discovery team. Here today, we're looking at a unique idea, a big word with kind of a simple concept behind it, and a homemade sound with myself and my two kids playing laser tag. Let's hear it. Okay, guys, just fire twice. All right, so that right there was the sound of my kids playing laser tag. They had got it as a little gift from a friend yesterday, and they started playing today. And I'll tell you, that gun makes that sound over and over again. And sometimes they're pressing the button on the laser tag gun so quickly they can't see who was out and who was not, right? They needed to use moderation, self-restraint, or another way to put it, temperance. And here we are in the final fruit of the Spirit. Here we are with temperance. So there's 9 fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Temperance. And so now we're on this final fruit of the Spirit with temperance. We're looking at this idea of moderation. The idea that as Christians, we have things under control. And I think a great example of that would be something like laser tag equipment, in the which it's very tempting to press the button over and over again, or the trigger over and over again, and see what you get into. See how many times you can get your big brother or little sister out, whatever it may be. But you can't even see who's winning the game because you need self-control. It's so many things in life are like this. It's like you ever go to a restaurant where they let you build your own bowl? I love going to those restaurants. And I love to eat. If you know me, I love to eat. I look like I love to eat anyways. But you go to the restaurant and they say, would you like this? Would you like this? And I'm practically putting everything on this bowl possible. But sometimes it doesn't taste as good as when I only put a few things on there. I told my wife this. I said, there's something about holding back. Just put like 3 or 4 ingredients on there. It actually tastes a lot better. That's temperance, right? It's kind of like, if you at school and you have 100 friends, quote unquote, and you don't really know anybody very good, right? But you're real popular. You got 100 friends. Well, that's not good relationships. But if you have a few good friends, you've kind of held back, you've made sure you've hung out with the right crowd, you're around good, godly kids, then you have really deep relationships. You have really deep friendships. That's temperance. And one of the fruits of the Spirit, the one way that we know someone's Christian, is that they're temperate, they're moderate. This goes against a lot of things in the world, right? So when we live in the world, what happens? We're chasing things that we desire, okay? The concept here deals with what the Bible would call carnality, or carnal living, or worldly living, right? And that the world might look at as like an appetite, right? And the idea is that we go after things in a way that is like more is better, right? The more is better. You just as much as you can have of something, go get it. Whether it's money, or whether it's alcohol or drugs, or whether it's pride or fame or I said money already, so I won't say fortune, but all of these things, right? It's kind of a more is more type of mentality. And the Christian says, no, wait a minute, I don't need more. The Christian can be looked at as an oddball. They're content with their pay. Well, everyone's complaining about their pay. Jesus told the soldiers, don't take bribes and be content with what you make. Be content with your wages. When we live for God, we need to be content with where He's put us. And that can be challenging. I went through something, Sound Discovery team, as an adult. When you're an adult and you do adult things, typically you're involved in housing, right? You either got an apartment and you want to get a house, or you got a house and you got to renovate it, or you got to get a bigger house or a smaller house. Something about adulting and housing, they just go hand in hand. I don't know, because I certainly was not involved in housing when I was a kid. I had no idea how housing worked, but you get older, it's part of being an adult, just understanding, your living scenario, and we had built this house from the ground up. My wife and I built it. We told the builder, make it look really plain, because we plan on selling it. We did not plan on keeping this house when we built it. We knew it'd be a big house for us. We just thought it was the time to do it this many years ago, almost 10 years ago, if you can believe it. And look, we held back in the design. That helped. We were temperate there. But selling it, about a year ago for way less than we thought we would, it was definitely a humbling experience. And my wife had to remind me, look, we need to be content with what God's given us. And it was such a beautiful reminder from God through my wife that, like, he's so good. Like, why are we getting caught up in what we thought we should have got or whatever? We live to see another day. You live to see another deal. There you go. Right? You live to see another day. You live to see another deal. Like, everything's okay. God gave us breath in our lungs. He gave us life. He gave us a family. Let's not get all worked up about something silly. But people, I kid you not, spend their entire lives not being able to get over that hill right there. Their entire lives going to court to try to get more because temperance is not in their body. They don't have any sense of moderation. They'll go to court. If you look up some of the longest court cases in the world, look up the Carvel case. Carvel, like the ice cream from New York. It's like one of the longest court cases in the history. And they're fighting over money. They're fighting over the estate. 10 times out of 10, there's some inheritance comes down, the kids, and there's some question about who it goes to. The kids are going to fight about it. Some of them will never speak again over it. I've seen it in my own family with relatives that literally never speak to each other again because of money and because of a lack of temperance or contentment. So temperance means moderation, but what's behind that moderation means that you don't have an appetite for something else because you're content with what you have. The Bible would talk about it like wanting nothing. You have no other desire but for what God's given you. You're content with Jesus. You're content with living for him. You understand it's his will to live as you would have, he would have you to live as in what he sovereignly allowed to happen, and you're content with it. So whether it's laser tag or housing, whether it's money or food or alcohol, whatever it is, temperance is really something that is a fruit of the Spirit, being temperate, because it deals with a maturity in the Christian that they don't have to get wild. Now my kids are far from perfect. If you know my kids, you know me, we're hard on our kids, but I love how I see they don't get too wound up. When things are real exciting, they usually don't get too high. When things are really, really sad, they usually don't get too low. That's the idea, that we can just be temperate in all things, moderate. We don't have to be extreme. We understand there's a time to be still and know that he's God, and there's a time to go work, and there's a time to go feast and celebrate, and there's a time to go mourn, and so many other seasons of life. But in all of them, we want to have a moderation about us, a moderate approach to everything. And if we can have that approach, it shows a true, overwhelming love for Jesus. We love him with our whole heart, mind, and soul. We're going to get to this in the next episode. We love him with everything we've got, right? That's going all out for Jesus. But everything else is temperate and moderate. All right, we'll get to more in the next episode. Tune in then. All right, Sound Discovery team. Now we're on to the next part of the program. Let's make sure that everybody subscribes to the Sound Discovery Team podcast so you never miss an episode. You wouldn't want to miss an episode. Every episode is classic. You got to tune in, right? Go to kidskjv.com to learn more about our program and get a link to that podcast, or on your favorite podcast app, simply search Sound Discovery Team, and we should come up, and you click subscribe, you listen, and I'll keep recording, and it'll be great. All right. Also, too, if you've been listening and you've been discovering sounds and you would like some mail directed directly to you, I guess I said directly twice, and you get that directly to you with your name on it, you get yourself a sticker or 2 or 3. No promises on how many. Supplies are limited, Sound Discovery Team. From the sticker factory here, then go to kidskjv.com. That's kids, KIDSKJV.com. And you can click on the blog tab, or you can just put /gift, GIFT, and there's a form there. And you have your parent fill it out. Make sure your parent fills it out, because we want to make sure they're okay with you getting a sticker. And you fill out the form. You have your parent fill out the form, and there you go. You submit it. You get a sticker. You're happy. I'm happy. We're all happy on the Sound Discovery Team. Finally, make sure to listen tomorrow. An episode comes out every morning, 7 o'clock Eastern. Tune in then. Thank you, as always, for listening, Sound Discovery Team. You are the best. Pastor Clark is out. All right, Sound Discovery team, that's it for today. Tune in next time. Take care. God bless. Amen.